Joining us now to talk about it all, CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, our friend Jonathan Greenblatt. I feel like we have talked as the country sort of simmered, but it is now boiling over. And I wonder, one, what you think is going on, and two, what we do about it.
Well, Nicole, thanks for having me on. I do think your description is apt. I mean, we now are at a boiling point and things are bursting. I mean, I want to talk for just a minute about that act of vandalism in Brooklyn. What the people whose homes had in common who were vandalized, number one, they were all involved with the Brooklyn Museum, an innocuous, nonpartisan cultural institution, in the city, in the world with the most Jews in it. Number two, all the people whose homes were targeted were Jewish. There are many people on that board. They didn't go after anyone else but the Jews. And number three, it's not just red paint and it's not just nasty graffiti that looks like blood. They painted red triangles on these homes. Now, so that the audience understands, Nicole, red triangles are the symbol that was used by Hamas in the massacre, and it's frequently used by Hamas to put targets on soldiers or civilians or individuals who they plan to kill. So what you saw there reminded me of, Nazis or Nazi supporters in Germany in the 30s painting Jewish stars on Jewish businesses and Jewish homes. This happened so these businesses, these homes could be targeted by their goons. I know this because my grandfather had his own barber shop vandalized exactly this way. So I don't know if people understand, this isn't just sort of silly vandalism. This is a serious threat to physical harm. This is what presages the kind of violence that no one should approve anywhere under any circumstances. But that's not happening to Jews every day in America.
Jonathan, we've always covered the ADL's reports. I know that your latest report sees anti-Semitic incidents skyrocketing. I wonder if the moment and the sort of scale of the emergency is requiring you to rethink the things that you've done before this moment.
It's a great question. I mean, literally, we are overwhelmed. The number of reports that we're getting, Nicole, not just from Brooklyn or Lower Manhattan, from all over the country, every single day, it's staggering. I mean, keep in mind that the total number that we recorded last year was almost 900% over it was a decade ago. And it's funny, we do these reports, we measure incidents, we study attitudes. And as you know, Nicole, we look at all kinds of hate. We released a report earlier this week about online hate and harassment. We found that Muslim users and LGBTQ users were the most targeted. It's true. And yet you can make no mistake, what's happening in America to Jews is not just dangerous, it could be deadly. It's not just anti-Semitic, although it's anti-American, attacking people, singling them out, setting them up for violence based on where they pray or where they're from. I mean, that is just antithetical to who we are as a country.
Are you optimistic that this moment will pass? Do you feel like October 7th ushered in some sort of bizarre permission structure for anti-Semitism? I mean, what is your state of mind about how to get through this moment and protect Jewish families, Jewish neighbors, Jewish institutions, Jewish schools, Jewish priests? I mean, what is your idea? What is your plan?
Look, I mean, this is literally a 5-alarm fire. And when people like AOC and Jamal Bowman, who are not exactly big Israel supporters, called out what happened in Lower Manhattan just the other day and said it was ugly anti-Semitism, because it was. This was an exhibit to mourn the victims of 10/7. And the protesters outside said, long live 10/7 and whatnot. That shows us that we have really gone, I think we've passed a kind of Rubicon here. And the kind of anti-Semitism, rank hate, has now become normalized. So our plan is, number one, to ring the bell for every elected official, every political candidate, every public figure. You got to call this out. I don't care how you feel about issues in the Middle East. No way, no how is it permissible to attack people like this. Or, by the way, as you did in the intro, on the subway train, Jews know what it's like to be singled out on trains, okay? So the historical reverberations of this, and all these people wearing masks, So number two, we need a new framework for thinking about how do we manage free speech concerns, but stop people from menacing and threatening their neighbors, hiding behind scarves. That is not okay. That is not what the founding fathers had in mind. So, and number three, we have got to increase literally the security around the institutions, like you said. Jewish people in our homes, their business, we're not safe. That's got to change, finally.
I know it's been a minute. I'm sorry we took our eye off this very important story. It means a lot to us, and it's great to have you back, Jonathan Greenblatt. To be continued. Thank you.
Always appreciate you. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. And